Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in EDH. Today we're looking at the Jolly Balloon Man. So the Jolly Balloon Man is a 3-mana Boros commander. He's a 1/4 with haste and 1 tap. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control, except it's a 1/1 red balloon creature in addition to its other colors and types, and it has flying and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, activate only as a sorcery. So obviously, this is essentially a Kiki-Jiki / Reflection of the Mirror Breaker type card in the command zone, but with the addition of having white in its colors. So we're going to want as many creatures that benefit from ETBs or sacrificing or death or whatever we can get in order to make the Jolly Balloon Man even better. So first of all is our obvious combos in the Jolly Balloon Man. So we've got some that work with Balloon Man and some that are just Boros combos that could run in any Boros deck. So we've got cards like Combat Celebrant that we can use to create a token of Combat Celebrant. We get an extra attack and untap all of our creatures, including the Jolly Balloon Man. We can make then another copy of Combat Celebrant and go off. Of course, this isn't technically infinite since we do need 1 mana at a time in order to activate the Jolly Balloon Man, but if we have cards like Ashnod's Altar or Phyrexian Altar, we can then sacrifice the additional tokens that we're creating in order to keep activating the Jolly Balloon Man. We also have cards like Village Bellringer that untap all of our creatures, and this will similarly go off with the Jolly Balloon Man as long as we can keep paying the 1 each time. And even in the case where we can't pay the 1 each time, we can still generate a lot of value. Similarly, we've got things like Umbral Mantle to untap the Jolly Balloon Man. If we get into a position where we can generate infinite mana, we do have Staff of Domination in order to draw our whole deck, or, of course, untap the Jolly Balloon Man to keep using him. And then we've got things like Felidar Guardian, which can combo with the Jolly Balloon Man or with Kiki-Jiki itself. We also have combos with Karmic Guide in order to keep copying it and resurrecting things. It is possible to also combine this with the Altars in order to keep reanimating things and also sacking them for mana. We also have Delny, which will combo with certain of our cards. And Agate Instigator, if for whatever reason infinite combats are not enough to kill our opponents, we can also make infinite tokens and just ping them all to death. Then, of course, we have the old Dual Caster Mage Molten Duplication trick. But additionally, because we're in Boros, we can Dual Caster plus Ephemerate, and we can use Ephemerate to blink Jolly Balloon Man and potentially go off that way. In addition to Agate Instigator, we also have Molten Gatekeeper as a second Impact Tremors type effect, some cantripping with Spirited Companion and Wall of Omens, which are fine enough just to draw cards with the Jolly Balloon Man, and if we do get into a situation where we have infinite activations with Balloon Man, we can use these to draw our whole deck. Card draw with Enduring Innocence, Mentor of the Meek, and Welcoming Vampire, since we're making lots of tiny creatures, and the typical cards like Esper Sentinel, the One Ring Trouble in pairs. Skull Clamp, of course, great in our deck. We're making small creatures, and we're making tokens that are going to die anyway. And then Idol of Oblivion, which we can tap to draw a card and activate only if we've created a token this turn. So if we've got Balloon Man active, we can draw an extra card every turn with Idol of Oblivion. Not too much in terms of counter magic because we're obviously in Boros, but we do have a few options here. We also have 1,000-Year Elixir, some pretty straightforward lands. The one oddity is Fountain Port, which we can use to sacrifice tokens to draw cards, which again is going to work with Balloon Man. Some protection spells, things like Silence, Grand Abolisher, Ranger Captain, in order to make sure that we can combo off. Dawn's Truce as another way to give our stuff protection. A whole bunch of ramp, including a bunch of what would normally be considered pretty mediocre ramp in cards like Hedron Crawler, because we just need as many things as we can get in our Boros deck, and we don't have too many options. Things that are creatures are also a little bit better in this deck than they would be normally because of things like Skull Clamp and Jolly Balloon Man being able to copy things. Patriarch's Seal as a 3-mana rock that can untap legendary creatures, so again, works with Balloon Man. We have Goblin Engineer as a way to tutor up combo pieces, so this particularly is going to work with cards like the Altars, Staff of Domination, and Umbral Mantle. A whole bunch of removal, which on creatures gets even better with Jolly Balloon Man again, because we can keep copying them, so things like Skyclave Apparition and Lauren. Elesh Norn also particularly works better than our deck than normally would. And we've got the Recruiters and Recruiter of the Guard, Imperial, for the same kind of reason. And then last, over here, we've got Determined Iteration. 2 mana at the beginning of combat on your turn, populate. The token created this way gains haste, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So it's essentially a way of doubling up on Balloon Man's ability. And then we've got a bunch of untap effects in order to activate Balloon Man multiple times a turn. And it's worth noting that, again, Village Bellringer can be a combo piece, and Halo Fountain can be a way to draw cards, or if we manage to go off far enough, win the game straight up. And with all that said, that's going to be the Jolly Balloon Man for EDH.